Hey friends, Isaac here. It's Tuesday, August 30th. Welcome to the Living the Dream Show with Kevin White. Kevin is a best-selling author, international speaker, and global brand publisher. He's founder, executive director of Global Hope India and CEO of Spirit Media. As a serial entrepreneur, Kevin has helped start hundreds of churches, businesses and non-profits throughout the world. Before starting today's episode, Kevin asked me to make sure you've heard about the Writers Club with Kevin White. Kevin just finished writing his third book in 3 years. He can help you write your first or next book. The Writers Club with Kevin White is a weekly small group via Zoom with writers for accountability and structure through coaching and collaboration. Learn more at spiritmedia.us. That's spiritmedia.us. Put your hands together and let's welcome my friend and yours, Kevin White, to today's show.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Living the Dream Show. Tuesday, August the 30th. Can you believe August is almost over? Well, it certainly is. It's soon going to be September. And I am Pastor Kevin White. I'm so excited to meet you. I hope that you listen in every week here to the Living the Dream Show. We have a powerful message to share with you today. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see me waving at you. If you're listening wherever podcasts can be heard, thank you so much for subscribing, liking, and commenting during the show. Well, last week we brought you part one of a 3-part series from Melvin Pillay. He is a Zig Ziglar platinum speaker. And he is from South Africa. He travels around the world. He is a leader to world leaders. And he has a powerful message that we are sharing with you, the power of believing. And so this is part 2. If you missed last week's part 1, you'll want to go back and refresh that and check that out. But let's listen to part 2 of the power of believing with Melvin Pillay.
By the time I was 14 years old, I started my world of sales. I was working to help my mom and dad and my family. So we had an elder brother. My elder brother went to law school, and he was going to be the guy that took us out of poverty. He graduated law school, got married, had a 6-month-old baby, and then his wife called to say that my brother tragically had drowned. Around the age of 31, my mother's heart was broken. The whole weight of the family fell on these two shoulders. A few years later, I packed 2 suitcases and made my way to Auckland, New Zealand. I got a job going door to door selling house burglar alarms. Now, somebody said that's like selling ice to the Eskimos in New Zealand. Now, people loved me, but they didn't love me that much to give me the money for the alarm. So I had money enough for 3 months stay at the boarding house. My money all went away, and I got kicked out of the boarding house. Thankfully, the owner of the alarm company said, if you can sleep on the company floor, I'll give you free accommodation. So I literally slept under the boardroom table. I got up in the morning, had a glass of water. At night, a glass of water and dry bread. That was my lunch, that was my dinner. I struggled. I worked hard. I worked 18 hours a day. My passion was there. I was excited. All I wanted to do was to take care of my family, but I could never get breakthrough. In order to experience that in life, you're working, you're slogging, you're grinding, you're hustling, you're doing everything, but nothing seems to work. Well, one day, a miracle happened. I went out door knocking. I found myself at a public library in Auckland, New Zealand. Something prompted my heart. Go into this library. I do. And something prompted my heart. Look at the audiobook section of cassette tape. I do. I find an audio cassette tape. And on the tape was the name Zig Ziglar. Now something is telling me rent this tape. Now it costs $2 to rent the tape. How many of you know that $2 is a lot of money when you don't have one? Thank God I had $2. I rented the tape. I put the cassette tape into my recorder. From the time Zig Ziglar opened his mouth till the end, I was quiet. I never heard a man speak like that. He said, Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And you can have everything in life that you want if you help enough other people get what they want. And all of a sudden, from business, he started to talk about Jesus. I said, wow, I know that name Jesus. My mother told me about that. So Zig Ziglar came to the end of the tape and said, and I'll see you at the top. I thought he meant heaven. I said, okay, Mr. Ziegler, I'll meet you in heaven. That became the moment of me giving my heart to the Lord Jesus. As he came to the end of the tape, I said to him, Mr. Ziegler, I don't know who you are, but one day, this dead, broke salesperson is going to stand on the stages of the world and speak the way you are. I had no clue who he was. I went back to work. I listened to that tape from a struggling salesperson. I became the top salesperson, sales manager. Eventually, I had my own dealership of the very company within 18 months. 7 years later, I visited a seminar for the first time in Dallas, Texas. I was sharing this very story with my table. Somebody walking by said, hey, young man, you need to go onto the platform and share this with the entire auditorium. I do, and Zig Ziglar was seated in the audience. As I came off the platform, the vice president of Zig Ziglar came up to me. He wrapped his arms around me and said, young man, you need to work with me. So I get certified trained with Zig Ziglar. I finished off as the vice president of global sales for Zig Ziglar International. And today I'm one of only 8 Ziglar Platinum speakers on the earth. What that means is that I have more than one gift. Once again, I will share with you and encourage you. Nothing is impossible for the one who believes. And I'd like to add, the one who chooses to believe. You see, you've got a choice to make this very moment. When I heard Zig Ziglar, I can't tell you, I was so heartbroken prior to that. I was so beaten up. I was wanting, honestly, I came to the place of absolute giving up on my dream, giving up on my hope. I said to myself, everything I do is good, but how come I can never find breakthrough? Well, I didn't find Jesus. But before my breakthrough, I had to find something that was more important. I had to find the true meaning of my life. I became very highly successful in what I was doing. And all of a sudden, the entire world opened up for me. Today, my wife and I will travel 9 to 10 months out of the year around the world, speaking, teaching, doing all these things. Something happens to you when you believe. My precious friends, I want to encourage you today to take a moment and ask yourself these 2 questions. Because in between these 2 questions, you will find your miracle. Question number 1, what do I love the most? What am I passionate? What do I love doing? I will do this thing. I don't care if I die. I love this very thing. Question 2. What is your greatest fear? You see, my friend, your greatest fear is the biggest mountain in your life. What do you fear the most? What is the thing you're afraid of? Are you afraid of dying alone? Are you afraid of the market crashing, you losing all your money? What is the fear in your life that's stopping you from your breakthrough? Your breakthrough is stopped by the fear that's in your heart, by the philosophy you borrowed from somebody who failed in a marriage. It is the philosophy inside of you about love and the philosophy in you about failure that hinders people. How many of you remember the cartoons of old on this shoulder chapter? Devil on this shoulder, family. Angel, absolutely. You know how true that is in today's world. On this shoulder, there's a voice saying to you, who do you think you are? Anybody ever heard that voice? You? What makes you think that you can do it? You don't look that way. You don't have this. You don't male, you don't female, you think you're yellow. What makes you think? Listen, it's the devil. And on this side, anybody ever heard a voice that whispers, I believe in you. You can do this. Anybody ever heard that voice? Well, there's the devil and there's the angel, right? So I was talking to a group of millennials and trying to bring this message to them because they don't watch cartoons the way we used to watch cartoons. And so I said to them, and they were mesmerized by an angel and the devil. And I said to them, wow, these two, the angel and the devil, are constantly fighting each other. And they were like, oh, which one wins? I said to them, the one you feed the most. And I said to them, see, every day you are the only person on earth that can stand guard at the door of your mind. And if you choose to allow the negative, the ungodly, the doubt and the fear to enter, well, you have now fed the devil. But if you choose to reject that voice, if you choose to doubt your doubts, and choose to believe and allow the positive, allow the godly, allow all the good stuff to go inside of you, you are now fed the angel of your success. There is power in the way you think. Can you think with me for 1 second? Just think about it. Close your eyes for me for 1 second. Barbara, I can go off with the wallets now. Open your eyes, look around you. Just look around you. Everything you see came out of somebody's thought. Somebody thought about the iPhone. Somebody thought about the projector. Somebody thought about the light. Somebody thought it's an idea. You have got no clue how powerful you are. You've got no clue how much God has deposited in you. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can absolutely do something, and hey, deal with the excuses right now. Some people tell me, oh man, I'm too young, Melvin. Oh, I'm a woman. Oh, the best one, I think I'm too old. Anybody ever heard that? All right. How many of you know of a man by the name of Colonel Sanders? Yeah? Do you know what his life story is? At age 67, he was kicked out of his house. He lived in the back of his station wagon, drove around the streets. He had an amazing chicken recipe that he wanted to sell, but guess what? Nobody wanted it. Anybody else sell like that? You've got this beautiful message, but nobody wants you. Well, the colonel was a very persistent man. Eventually, a restaurant said to him, hey, we'll give you a try. And the rest of history, we've heard of Colonel Sanders. But the key takes on this. One group said that he knocked 888 doors. Another group said he knocked 1,099 doors. Whichever, that's a lot of doors to knock. Let me ask you this. What would have happened if the colonel stopped at door 887? So, never heard of him. At which point are you going to stop? When will you give up? Did I hear never? How about we say this? I will never give up. Let's say this aloud. I will never give up. See, if you make that lifestyle, when I was dead broke under the table, no money, no food, nothing, no friends, no hope, I said to myself, I will never give up. One of the greatest speeches ever recorded in history was given by Winston Churchill. He walked up to the podium of students, took out his top hat, put it down, and he said to them, Never, never, never give up. This is what I found, my friend, with regard to our dream in life. If you refuse to give up, God will never give up on you. Let those words penetrate your hearts. Get away from all the excuses in life. I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm this color, I'm this, and that. Stop with the excuses and say to yourself, I refuse to give up. There's something about perseverance. Like Charles Spurgeon says, only through perseverance does the snail reach the ark. Who here will never give up? Come on, I see your hands, please. Which person will say, I'll never give up? I will persevere. Guess what? Why is it important for you to persevere? Guaranteed. Whatever you do in moderation, your children will do in excess. If you give up on small things, they will give up on big things. That is why it's so important for you to accomplish what God has in your life and for your life. Just do not give up for the sake of your children. And let the Lord deal with your excuses and deal with your comfort zones.
And there you have the message. Melvin, thank you so much for your ministry into our lives. I am enriched, and I hope our audience is as well. I hope that you will return next week for the Living the Dream show as we conclude this 3-part series on the power of believing with Melvin Pillay. I'll see you back next week on the Living the Dream show. God bless you all.
3 billion people still have limited to no access to know about Jesus. Just how many is 3 billion people? It takes 1 second to say hello to one person. If you wanted to greet 3 billion people, it would take you 100 years of saying hello nonstop. Global Hope India has been empowering local churches throughout India to provide access to Jesus to the 1 billion unreached souls in India. You can make a difference now at globalhopeindia.org. That's globalhopeindia.org.
Thank you for listening to the Living the Dream show with Kevin White. Don't forget to visit spiritmedia.us for the Writers Club with Kevin White, a weekly small group via Zoom with writers for accountability and structure through coaching and collaboration. Visit spiritmedia.us today. Visit kevinwhite.us and join thousands of subscribers to Kevin's free daily 1-minute motivation series called Generously Blessed. Kevin's books Audacious Generosity and Get to the Point are available in hardback, paperback, ebook and audiobook at kevinwhite.us, worldwide on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and everywhere books are sold. Your 5-star review on Amazon will be greatly appreciated. This has been Living the Dream with Kevin White. Find the complete archive of all episodes at kevinwhite.us or subscribe for free through your favourite podcast player and never miss an episode. This program is copyright Kevin White International Incorporated. All rights reserved. Each week we bring you a message of living the dream as people of every nation, tribe and tongue worship Jesus together on earth today as it already is in heaven. Remembering the gift of God's presence through Jesus Christ is accessible to everyone. Join us again next week for Living the Dream with Kevin White.